Evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ray Tampa Podcast. Our podcast offers bold commentary on various subject matters with a laser-like focus on the truth. My name is Ray Tampa. I'm the host of the Ray Tampa Podcast. We have in our studio Mr. Russell Cato, a retired educator with 42 years of experience in Pinellas County schools. And Mr. Jamie Wilson III, a healthcare provider with more than 30 years of experience as a physical therapist. My co-host, my dynamic co-host. Today, we have the distinct pleasure, I want to say that again, the distinct pleasure of having with us Mr. Jaden Green.
Thank you.
Jaden, a 15-year-old student from one of the high schools here in Pinellas County. I hadn't met Jaden prior to today, but what I was told about the young man impressed me greatly. I immediately reached out to get him on our podcast. So I say again, the distinct pleasure of having Mr. Jaden Green on our show. I feel certain that all of us will enjoy this conversation with Jaden based on the things that I've been told. Jaden, welcome to the Ray Tampa Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
By all means.
Glad to have you.
By all means.
Glad to be here with you all.
Jaden, how about sharing with our audience a little information about yourself, such as where were you born, raised, and the schools you have attended?
Well, I was born and raised here in St. Petersburg. I've attended Maxima Elementary, Bay Point Middle, and I'm a current student of Pinellas Park High School. Right now, I serve as the class president for the class of 2028 on the Student Government Association Board. I will be going into my second term. I was appointed for president on January 31st of this year. And then when I ran again, nobody ran against me, but they ran with me. So I ended up taking a lot of students with me on that board. And now we serve as a board with 11 members.
Wow. I didn't know that piece, and that's a very impressive piece. That is awesome. Okay. Student government president.
Yes.
Good start.
Awesome.
Good start.
Awesome. What grade are you in?
I will be going into my sophomore year.
Into the sophomore year.
And
you were elected president last year as a ninth grader?
as a freshman.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's even more impressive.
I got into that position because I was on the student leadership team, and the sponsor for the Student Government Association said, because of the ideas I had to improve the school, I would be a great fit for president. So within that day I got appointed, I came up with the vice president, and then within that next week I had a full board.
Very good.
You need to be mayor of St. Pete right now.
And governor.
But I think you need to be
I like
mayor of
that.
St. Pete right now. And I say that, in jest, but a tad bit of seriousness
Right.
as well. And what's your favorite subject in school?
Right now, my favorite subject is language arts, but that can all change.
Just a sophomore.
But I really enjoy reading and writing. So language arts is really, language arts helps you find creativity. Within language arts, I've been able to write a lot of stories and essays and argumentative essays about opinions that I've had. And within reading my own essays, I've noticed that I'm very strongly opinionated.
Wow.
So but it helps build creativity. Math does too, but it also shows you how well you can follow a formula. But language arts helps build creativity in a lot of areas that a lot of people do not realize. So that's why that's my favorite subject.
Do either one of you want to ask him anything at this point? So we got to.
I'm just really impressed with you, and I see a strong political path. I mean, something serious, like, and we were somewhat joking about mayor, but and all that, but that seriously, your future, if you keep this path and keep this energy, you could be doing something great. I'm talking governor, mayor, president, a serious talk,
Thank you. Thank you.
and pull in more like you, recruit more like you.
Yes, yes.
Well, I think one of the things I'd like to ask you, Bob, because I listened to you a few minutes ago, and one of the things that guided you to be student government president was that you had some various ideas to improve, I guess, the school system,
Yeah.
something of that sort.
Yes.
Can you give me one or two criteria you represented, to improve the school system? I'd like to hear that from
So,
15-year-old kid.
so my main goal now and before, and which will forever be, is to build community within the school. And that starts with understanding that we all stand together. um we see each other 5 days a week for a course of 9 months, and it's just no time to have to be able to argue with each other and not like each other, but instead be able to learn how to be cordial with each other, and if it's time to have a good time, then we can have a good time. So my main thing was being able to build community. So the question is, how do you build community? Well, you build community simply by gathering your students together in events that helps them be able to interact on a positive behalf, which means that if we do a pep rally, I want my students and my peers to be able to sit together in the stands and be able to laugh at what's going on the gym floor or wherever the pep rally is being hosted. We actually ended up hosting a grill and chill towards the end of the school, and it was for students who did really good on their test scores. That was a really good event for everybody to get along and interact. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I seen students interact and I never thought they would interact a day in their life again. But it's all about being able to get students together on a positive note. And I feel like what a lot of people fail to realize is if you get students together on a positive note, then other things start to change as far as test scores, behaviors, academics. Things will rise if everybody is not at each other's heads.
Pinellas Park High School, you all have a gym. You all have a gym. And I hope they understand what I just said.
Yeah.
Jaden, you mentioned your student government position
Mhm,
and the things you're doing with that position.
mhm.
Are you involved in any other extracurricular activities?
I'm involved, or I was involved. I don't know if they keep the same team, but I was on the student leadership team, which was a team that we went to a leadership summit by Pinellas County School District, and they gave us a list of tasks that we had to do as a team to be able to move on. It's kind of like a escape room, something like that. But we get the task and we bring it back to the school. So that was an extracurricular activity that I participated in, and I kind of actually used that to boost my president role to where we could have something to do and we can actually start moving forward with the task at hand. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You want to build a sense of community
Right.
at the school, and you want to do it from a leadership standpoint,
yes,
which you're demonstrating
yes.
on a daily basis.
I like that.
That's
too.
awesome. Now, one of your former teachers told me before we did this interview that you were awesome, that you were one of the best. And I see he wasn't lying.
Yeah,
I
very.
see he was not lying.
If you asked me back then, I would have thought that it was some students better than me.
Well, I tell you, are you aware that I did mention in the narrative, this is a retired educator, right?
Yes,
42 years.
yes,
Are you aware that I'm a retired educator?
yes,
Okay.
Mhm.
And Jamie is a retired educator.
Yeah.
yes. I was
And
I'm sitting in a room with educators. I love it.
Well, I tell you what, we love what we're hearing. Jaden, we understand that you're in tune to the political environment here in St. Petersburg. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know the name of the mayor of St. Petersburg?
Mr. Kenneth Welch.
Okay, do you know names of some of the city council members?
Just a few.
Just a few,
Just a
which is
few.
good. How many 15-year-olds out there can say, I know some of the city council members?
Not a lot.
Is your opinion of how things are going in the city of St. Petersburg?
I feel like, well, first I want to touch on the cost of living. I feel like the cost of living in our South Side neighborhoods on the city of St. Petersburg is just skyrocketed. I feel like our residents are paying a price but not giving the quality of life. And that's a problem in our city that I feel like our city officials could even take a look at and say, well, you know, I see that they're paying $2,300 in rent, but they're not getting $2,300 in service. So the cost of living in St. Petersburg is just one thing that's just not acceptable. Especially if I'm staying in an apartment and I'm having to worry about my AC in this heat. But again, I'm still trying to come up with $2,300 in rent to even have a roof over my head when I'm only making $45,000 to $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a
Great
good
point.
point.
Very good.
Cost of living is out of control.
Out of
Give me something else.
I feel like I want to see more of our Black businesses and organizations rise. And when I say that, I don't mean the same ones that we've already seen, but I want to see more of ones that we've never seen. And I feel like our city officials could be the ones, they don't have to reach out, but to be the ones to actually shine the light of those organizations. As a leader, I've learned that you cannot always be in the spotlight the whole time. And it's okay to pass the torch to somebody else to let them shine. I want to see more Black businesses and small Black organizations rise. Because at the end of the day, and I'm going to be completely honest, a lot of these organizations have the same goal. We have a lot of mentoring organizations, we have a lot of educational organizations, and a lot of them have the same goal, and that is to make sure that the youth is staying off the streets and staying in school and being educated and living their lives like how they should be. And as far as education, to make sure that they, from what I'm hearing, that they are reading on grade level.
Okay.
And that is, and I'm not saying that to belittle those organizations or to say that it's not important, but when you take an organization and you put one superior over the other, when both have the same goals, what makes this one different than the other? What is the difference?
Okay, I'm understanding, and I'm gonna allow my two co-hosts to jump in. I'm understanding that you have referenced the fact that St. Pete has too many clicks.
Too many clicks.
Too
You
many
said it right.
clicks.
Too many clicks.
You feel that way.
I feel that way.
Okay, and your feeling is based on what?
If you look on Facebook or if you go to a lot of these events, you'll see the same organizations. And when I say that as you'll see them as vendors, but you'll see the same organizations. And out of respect for those organizations, I won't call them out. But you see the exact same ones. And a lot of times you'll go to these events and you say, well, when will I see somebody different?
Right.
When will I see somebody different?
And that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll leave it to my co-host at
Right,
that point.
yeah.
Well, I can,
And that's why I asked you this.
the two of you, anything?
Yeah. In relation to what you were saying, and that is right. It's always the same organizations. You see and hear about the same organizations because a lot of the funding is directed to them
Right.
because of this click system that
Right.
you're talking about. So it's just the same old people,
Right.
and it doesn't allow for our community to give birth to new ideas and new entities to come in
Right.
to do basically what you were saying.
Right.
That's the problem.
And the thing is, these people who are in the positions of these organizations now should not have to retire for the birth of a new organization.
Right.
They should still be able to be in their positions and allow another organization to come in and then be able to say, well, hey, I see what you're working on.
Mhm.
This is also what I'm working on. Let's combine,
Yeah.
help
Cohesive.
build community, and possibly this will help boost my organization, but will also help boost yours as
Mhm.
well.
Can you fault the city administration, specifically the mayor of St. Petersburg, for fostering these cliques?
In a way I can, and in a way I can't. And I say that to say this. As a founder, a CEO, or anybody in power of an organization, it should be they're willing to want to partner with other organizations so the city doesn't have to get involved. Now, if I was mayor, and I say that because people are different, if I was mayor and I seen that I see a lot of the organizations trying to build community to help improve my city, because as a mayor, I can't do it all. But if I see that I have a lot of people who has these organizations that's trying to improve my city, I would get this organization contact to this organization contact. You all have the same goal at the end of the day. You all can combine, build your organizations together, build community, and make this city better so we can live to the slogan that we are St. Pete.
We are St. Pete,
Mhm.
build to the slogan.
Mhm.
Russ, you got anything?
Well, he said a whole lot.
A lot.
He said a whole lot, but
A
let me
lot.
ask you this, because I'm listening to you very carefully, and I'm 87 now. And what you said about goals, I have seen people, as you say, develop the same goals.
Mhm.
All goals that people talk about, they're beautiful.
Right.
So my question to you, if people are developing the same goal, how do you obtain a reliable solution for that?
Well, first you have to work towards your goal.
Mhm.
The problem that we have is that we make a goal and we don't have steps to actually work
Okay.
towards
Right.
that goal. Another problem that we have is we make a goal and we think that we can just get to that one goal without having other goals set in line to get
Right.
there. Having a goal is an ordered step in process.
Mhm.
You're gonna have bumps and things in the way before you can even reach to your goal. That's why they say it's a goal. Your goal is your end zone.
Mhm.
Football analogy, for example, because I watch a lot of football. Football analogy, for example, they have a lot of first downs, second downs, third downs, and tackles before they even reach end zone.
Mhm.
But their goal is to reach end zone. But look how much steps that they have to get through before they, and at that, they have a defense. So look how much obstacles that they have to get through to even reach towards that goal.
Opposition.
But at the same time, the offense works as a team. So what these organizations have to do is to be able to learn to work as a team to reach their end goal. Because it's not, I can't just sit here and say that I'm going to be mayor and that's just my end goal and I have no ordered steps to get there. I can't say that I'm going to be president and I have no ordered steps to get there. You can't tell me that anybody who's ran for president just said, I want to run for president. And then they got there. They had steps and processes that they had to get through to even get to the position to where they can campaign.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Even though, yeah, and you got a good point. And one person in mind did a lot of criminal things and misleading other people to get there, but he is president, unfortunately. But I say,
and he his goal was to be president,
yes,
and
he
somehow he got it. But
crookedly.
I will say this: when you are motive to do something, you will find a way to do it.
All right.
Let me ask you this. There are two things I look at when people fighting to be what they are, even you. I look at empathy and money.
Mhm.
Which one is stronger?
I'm gonna be real with you. In reality, money is stronger.
What,
Yeah.
what killing?
Um, Boss, you brought it up. You said that a lot of the reason why these organizations is in this clique because of the funding.
Mhm.
Funding is just another word for money.
Mhm.
The reason why we don't see a lot of these organizations now is because they never had their own the best startup money like a lot of other
Mhm.
organizations
Mhm.
had. So not wanting to say that it's a money game, but in a way it's a money game. I have to have a certain amount of money and I
Right.
have to build myself with a certain amount of money to even get recognized by my city. And that's the organizations in my city, the people of my city, and my city officials.
Mhm.
I'm going to ask you this question. You talked about if you were mayor, you would do this, or if you were mayor, that. You know the mayor we have,
Mhm.
his name that is. Um, I don't know how much you know about his policies.
Mhm.
Do you know anything about his policies as mayor?
I know a slight bit about his policy.
Give me some examples.
I know that he's trying to help organizations at least with the funding. A lot of times I just do not agree with the organizations that he's helping because, and I'm gonna be like this: when you become a successful organization, you end up getting donations and private investors. So a lot of times you do not need the city's money, but yet the city will pour their money into you anyways. And that's the city's choice, guaranteed. But as a founder, if I know I'm making an X, Y, Z amount of money that I will benefit, and then I also have a pocket full that's just sitting. As a founder, I'll say, well, Mayor, I don't need this. Hand it to somebody else who may. Or if I have that pocket full, I may say, well, let me reach out to some organizations that also may need this.
Okay,
That's good.
the mayor came into office with a lot of pretty talk. I want
That's a lot of
everybody on the
politicians.
same- What you saying?
I said, that's a lot of politicians.
Okay, well, we're gonna focus on this one. He came into office, I want everybody on the same playing field. I want equity built into all city policies and practices. I want equal opportunity throughout the city. I want. But then he does differently. His words contradict his actions, or his actions contradict his words. Being that the case, do you understand the concept of accountability?
First, if I'm going to stand up in front of a great crowd of people and say that I want something, I'm going to work towards it.
Okay,
That's being accountable for my word.
correct.
I feel like a lot of times we as the civilians of this city do not hold our city officials accountable.
Correct.
And I say that because we're scared to voice our opinions. And here's the backward things about it, y'all. We'll voice our opinion about what the president is doing, but when it comes down to our own city officials, we won't say anything about it. And that's backwards. How we gonna try to voice our opinion where we know we're not going to be heard instead of voicing it where we know there's a possibility we will be heard?
Okay.
I'm not going to reach towards the federal government knowing that the federal government don't care nothing about me, and not reach to my local government knowing that there's a possibility that somebody's going to hear and somebody will possibly make that change.
From your standpoint, voicing your opinion is one form of accountability, right?
Yes.
Because if the mayor is doing something he shouldn't be doing, or not doing something he should be doing, and you're voicing your opinion, that's a degree of accountability.
Right.
Would you agree that working to ensure that he's not reelected is another form of accountability?
If the civilians feel that strongly, yes.
Yes, yes. If the people feel that strongly, working to ensure he's not reelected is a form of accountability.
At the end of the day, we have to be accountable ourselves. We can't hold our city officials accountable and blame everything on them.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we weren't the ones who started a campaign and tried to run. We weren't the ones who tried to run for city council. We weren't the ones who tried to run for mayor. We weren't the ones who tried to run for a position that could help our community. They the ones who did it.
Right.
They took the bold move, regardless of all the challenges that they could face. And that's where I give them their praise. They did that. We have to hold ourselves accountable, because if we're not getting something that we were promised, then we need to be able to voice our opinion on that. And if we know that a certain person is not going to provide that for us after we've seen what he or she has been doing, why would we vote them back in?
Okay,
Right.
that's where I'm coming from.
Your vote.
Why should we vote him or her back in?
Mhm.
Jay?
Yeah, I mean, city council meetings, get involved with that based on what you're saying. Get involved, be heard, and yeah, definitely your vote. But all the little local meetings, get involved and have your group of people and talk your talking points for the change you want.
Right.
Because once they're in, they're in. They're going to do their term unless they get killed or something. They're going to do their full term.
Or impeached. But
Or
we
impeached,
look
but
at the
yeah.
federal level. We have
Mhm.
somebody who hasn't even been impeached yet, and look at all the
Mhm.
stuff that he's pulled.
Oh,
Right, right. So
That's a broken system on the federal level, a very broken system when you got a Congress that just turn a blind eye,
Right.
turn a blind eye to all the misdeeds this man does.
Right.
yeah,
And that goes back to your question, and the federal level would be a prime example of it too. We voted a man in because we were afraid to see a woman president,
exactly.
knowing what this man was capable of doing
Yep.
and what he already has done, because we've seen it in the
Before.
first term.
Thank you.
His approval
Thank
rating
you.
went down, and a lot of that was because of his voters. A lot of people voted for him who were strictly Democratic, but did not want to see a woman president. A lot of people voted for him and did not understand that one point of his policy.
Mhm.
But yet, because I say we because we all have to hold ourselves accountable.
We're
I'm
American.
not saying we
Yeah.
as
Well, yeah.
us
I know what
gentlemen
you
in
mean.
this
I
room,
know what you mean.
but I'm
Yeah.
saying we have to hold ourselves accountable for that, because now we're complaining about what he's doing, but we already got a teaser 6 years ago when he was doing what he was doing. Now he's doing it
Yeah.
and on a more broader and elevated
Mhm.
level, because he understood what he needed to do. His first term was the research. His first term was him learning what he should do.
Mhm.
Now his second term is him executing
Actually execute.
what he will do.
Mhm.
And now we have the nerve to complain about it. But yeah, we were the ones who voted him in.
It doesn't make sense.
It
Doesn't
doesn't.
make
It
sense.
doesn't make sense.
I
And
told
not
y'all it's
voting is
backward.
voting for the other party. Not
Yes,
voting is
not voting is
it-
definitely
yeah,
voting.
voting for the other party.
I am very glad you said accountability. Look at your age.
Yeah.
Being 15. Trump going to serve his years out. Ain't no doubt about it.
No doubt.
He going this Epstein thing, and he will knock him down. He will serve these 4 years. So here's my thing to you. I'm glad that you're here. Voting is the only way that we can defeat people.
Right,
It is the only way. But we got to be educated.
right.
So when I look at you being 15, when you will be a voting age when Trump be coming out, I think.
Yes, I
Is that
will.
right?
Yes, I will.
So how do you, as 15 years old, to get younger people to see the vision of, we can't make this mistake?
Younger people encourage younger people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Y'all, I don't know if y'all have heard the saying peer pressure is real, but peer pressure doesn't always have to be negative. It can, and a lot of times, be positive. And I want to be the example of positive peer pressure that said, or in order to make a change, we have to make a voice, or we have to make noise somewhere, somehow. We have to have peaceful protests. We have to get up on these stands. We have to get on podcasts and voice how we feel, because they may not see it, but somebody will see it.
Mhm.
Somebody will agree, and somebody will want to help, so we can start making that change. A change comes with a voice.
But I tell you
Well
what,
said.
you have done a great job today.
Yeah.
You have impressed us
Yeah.
with your intelligence, your involvement, your understanding of what's going on. And with that in mind, thank you for being here.
No problem. Thank you for
Wanna-
having me.
I want to thank my two co-hosts for a job well done, as always. I want to thank you, the listeners, for tuning in to the Rate Sample Podcast each and every Tuesday evening, 5:30 p.m., 99.1 FM, The Bird. And we ask that you go to YouTube, type in the Ray Tampa Podcast, and you can see them all. With all that being said, good evening.